Hi everyone, welcome back to Match Color Along on our Patreon. And for this month, the first color along that you guys pick is Worlds of Flowers by Johanna Basford. And the page, which is a fish, like a fish pond. And I was thinking, should we do like a goldfish or a koi fish? I think we're going to do a koi fish for this one because I really like koi fish, but also you can do goldfish as well. I think we're gonna cover the line art here just on the goldfish only, so I can custom it a little bit since I don't really like how the pattern on the face really look. But these are just optional. You don't have to cover anything if you not like. So with this page, I'm going to use I'm going to use the polychromos to do for this one. So let's start first with the flowers, and I assume they are maybe lotus flower. Doesn't look like one, but I think I'm gonna transform them similar to lotus flower. So we're gonna do two color combinations. So we're gonna do one is red and the other two is pink. So I think I might do two red and one pink, but you can change that, up to you. Or you can do all of them the same color as well if that's what you like. So let's start with the red one first. So I'm gonna do this one right here, and I'll start off first with the Alizarin crimson. I want a red but slightly have the pink tint into it, so I'm just gonna add it right at the tip here, and I'll just do it gently. I just bring the colors down and I fade it out as we go into the middle. Like that. Okay, so now once you have the red down, I'm thinking the medium flesh. I just want to blend it out a tad, maybe not that much, but if you have trouble with fading the colors out, if you have more stronger pressure when you're holding the pencil, I highly suggest you use this medium flesh to blend out the red, because it's a much lighter color, so it'd be easier for you. Now I'm going for the light flesh, and I'm gonna go for the bottom lighter down here. You can see I still have some highlight. Whatever you do, just leave some highlight for the petal so it look a lot nicer that way. And we're going for the dark red for the tip. That I just flicker the color a little bit nicer, and I'm going to use, let's see, a little bit of my green. I'm going for just a little bit down here. like that. You have a little bit of green colors. Now this is completely optional, but I'm going to add some dark cream yellow, so just a kind of orange color. I'm just gonna bring up here, lightly blushing it in. You can see it's not very visible. I think it may not visible through the camera, but you can definitely see the color brighten up in real life. The reason why I wanted to apply in some orange is for the fish. I'm going to do like an orange red color, so I think this will complement the fish really well. And then at the end you can either use the ivory or the white to apply in the highlight here. And that's done. Now if you want it to be a bit darker, which you can, instead going with a dark gray or a blue, I'm going for a purple, so a dark purple, which is a red violet. It's just a quite dark purple, but this one have a red tint, hence the name. And I'll just apply it down here. You can see we use quite a bit of color, but there's a few color that you can take out if you want to. And I'm just gonna apply that like so. And blend it back out up here with the light flash. I'm going to use the white and make the inside a bit more brighter, the highlight. Now you can use the dark blue for the shadow if you want, but I'll saving it for later when we do extra shadow where the petal overlap. So that's how the petal flower turn out. Now I'm gonna do the same for all of them, and I will show you how to apply it in the shadow. I'm gonna put some music and we just color without talking. So I'll see you guys in a bit.
셋, 별. 셋, 별. 샛별 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 샛별
as you can see, we are done with all the petal, and I'm gonna adding in a little bit of dark indigo just for the shadow on this little tip. I wanted to make a tad darker, so just gently adding it in just around the tip only. And you don't have to add it in for all the petal. You can just adding in for the under layer. So for these that at the bottom layer, but I'm gonna adding in for all of them because I think that make it look more defined and add more detail. So I'm gonna do that. Now if you get a little bit of heavy hand with this color, you can go back in with one of the red, doesn't matter which one, and just slightly blending that out so it will blend smoothly in with all the colors. But as you can see, very simple. Alright, so now you have that done. Now I want to adding in a darker green, and I'm thinking the pie green, this one, and I'm gonna go for these around here. I'm gonna go for the underneath. Okay, so just a little bit of extra color, and you can use the mild green to blend it out. Alright, now you are done, and let's start doing for the middle. And for the middle, I'm going for a yellow, so just a light yellow would do. I'm gonna adding in the light cream yellow for, again, just the outside. Gently add that in. And then I'm using the white. You can also use the ivory to blend out that yellow, going in the middle nicely. And you can also use a little bit of orange as well, so I'm going to use a dark cream yellow. Let's have a tint of orange on it, and we just go. I add the little tip. It might not make such a big difference, but these are all optional. And then I'll just leave it like that. I don't want to adding in any color for the circle, the middle circle, but I'm going to adding in some shadow for the petal underneath. So I'm thinking we can use, since this is gonna be like a pond, we make it like a pond, so I think for the shadow we can use some blue. So instead of the dark indigo, I'm going to use the Prussian blue, this one right here. Again, up to you. If you have the dark indigo, you can use that one. I just slightly applying this color like that, just a slightest touch, and I'm gonna do this for all the shadow where the petal overlapping each other. And when you're doing shadow, don't do too close to the object, but rather bring it out a little bit so you can adding in dimensions as well. like so. And then you see it add a really nice touch to it. Again, this is an optional step, so you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Okay, now you have all the shadow there. Go back in with the Alizarin Crimson or a darker red if you prefer, and you're gonna go on top of that blue, alright, so it doesn't make it too muddy. Gonna adding in some red. Okay, so just adding that on top. And you are done with overall look. Now I'm gonna adding in the white gel pen and the yellow gel pen. Actually they are acrylic pen, so you can use the Posca pen if you want to. I have this brand, the Tooli art, and I really like them, so I'm gonna use them for this. And I'm thinking we're gonna go for the white in the middle. I should have a piece of paper so I can activate. Oh. Just quickly activate it, and I'm gonna color it in the middle here because I don't like the black there, so just quickly cover it a little bit. I actually probably prefer to use the normal white gel pen. Let me take, and you want to add a lot of these little white dot. Now we do this to make it look like it all nice and glowing. You can bring little dot out for a little further away onto the petal, and then you have something look like that. Now I'm gonna go for the yellow. Make sure it activates. And we're gonna adding in some yellow dot as well, just kind of in between. And I don't add this yellow a lot, just a tiny bit. Alright, and there you have it. So you can see it look like some magical flower that's glowing, and that's what you're gonna do for the middle. Pretty much the same for all three. Now I'm gonna show you how you can do the pink one. Now for these flowers, I'm gonna make it pink like I mentioned earlier, And we're gonna start off first. Let's see, I want to use this light purple pink, and we pretty much do the same as this flower. You can do the gradient from the middle out as well, like fading it out, but I'm gonna go for actually I'm gonna do from the inside out, so we have something different. And just using pretty much the same technique. So I'm just fading it out as I'm go further away from the middle. So you want to use a fairly light brushes. There you go. And I think that look pretty good. Okay. Next, I'm going to use the fuschia, this one right here, and I'm gonna add for just the bottom. And I'm gonna flick it out, some of the strand a little longer than that. When you flick it out, make sure you lightly use your pencil, so lift it up as you flick it out. And that's what it look like. Now I'm gonna go for this color, the light flesh, and I'm just gonna use it to blend out the petals some more. If you don't have the light flesh, you can use the light magenta. I'm pretty sure that colors you really like too. This one, the light magenta, you can use that. The only reason why I use these colors is light, and because the color is have a little bit of like a yellow base. I find it look really nice with the pink, plus it's the same color that we use for the first flower, so they will make these flowers sort of like together, like in the bunch, so it doesn't look too different. But it's all preference, personal preference. You don't have to use the same color that I do here. And I'm gonna adding in a dark color, which is a middle purple pink, just for the bottom. I say it's dark, but it's actually not that dark, since we're just adding on top. And again, I'm gonna flick some out. Alright, and I want to add in the red violet to make it even darker at the middle. Now you're done. You can go in with either your ivory or here I'm using the white actually, but before I'm doing that, I'm gonna adding in the light purple pink back in, just to smooth all the dark color out a tad. If you're happy with how your color look, you don't have to go back in. And I'm gonna add in the tip just a tiny bit, okay, like that. And now I'm just going to use the white, and I'm gonna blend this color out. And you can see I'm not going in circle, but I go up and down, so follow the pattern of the petal. This way you don't smudge these lines that you added in, and you blend them out, make it look more softer. And here's your flower. So we're gonna do the same for all of them, for the whole petal, and I'll be back and I'll show you how you can do the inside. Actually, why is it missing a couple of petals, I think, or is that intentionally do that? I think she might just intentionally do missing some of the petal. Alright, I'm just gonna show you one more before go ahead and just color it in. While I like to add in music for this part where I just repeating, because sometimes I don't know what to talk about, and so you don't have to keep looking at what I'm doing, and you can watch your show or like listen to something else, and or if you someone like to skip ahead, you can do that pretty easy as well. So that's the reason why, although I know that some people do enjoy listening to the pencil stroke, but as you know, my camera is not the best at the moment, so even the sound it pick up is not that great, so I gotta figure it out how to fix it, or even buy a new one if possible. So you can see here I'm just using the what's this, light purple pink. This have a really nice color. This color, I love it. I use it in a lot of other coloring. And then fuschia for the bottom. If you go light, for the people that new here, if you go light first for layering, especially with the polychromo, you will get much nicer result. It just behave a little different than Prismacolor, and I found that while it's actually very therapeutic to use them, it does take a little longer to finish your piece, but trust me, it will worth it. And then this one is the middle purple pink. I'm not really sure why I said magenta earlier. I don't think it's magenta. Did I say it magenta? And red violet. And here. And I need to bring this color out too much. Then I'm gonna adding in the light flash, just slightly adding in. And bring it out. Then I'm go back in with the light purple pink and add a little bit for the tip. I'm gonna blend out this bit a tad, and now you can use the white up and down. I'm using the Prismacolor because I found the white is very creamy and easy to mix, to blend. So but you can also use the polychrome or white as well. It's gonna give you a little bit of different effect. There you go. And I'm really happy with the color. It's very nice. I'm thinking we're gonna do I think for this I'm gonna show you the one that underneath here. Well, it's pretty much the same, but I think we're gonna make it a little bit darker, so I'm gonna show you that one. So this one right here, just gonna spin the book a little bit because it's easier for me, when you do flick, let's shake like this, it's easier if, oh my god, actually it's not too bad, but accident. So do from here, right? So make sure you do them quite dark. You don't need to leave a lot of white for this bit. I'm just gonna use a light purple pink again. Like that. And I think I'm gonna go straight for the middle purple pink, so I skip the fuchsia. And I'm gonna go for the red violet, and I'm gonna make quite dark down here. It's just for it look like is the bottom layer. And I'm thinking I'm gonna add the middle, middle purple pink right on the tip here, so it just look a bit darker. Once we've done everything, it look darker compared to all these petals that on top, on the top layer. And then I'm gonna go back in with the light purple pink, and then I'll just flick it out some more. Use a light flash, adding in some color. You can see I still leave some white. I don't actually cover everything, but and then I'm just gonna go to white. You can see for this one, when there is limited space, it's a little bit harder to do flick. So you can just go back and adding it in if you feel like it. But yeah, that's the petal. Now I'm gonna add in a dark indigo for the bottom here. Just a little bit, make it a little darker. Not too much. And then I'm gonna blend it out with the middle purple pink. Using the color, and you can erase it. I'm not really sure why the pencil kind of slip into that spot. But yeah, so that is pretty much how it looks. Once you've done everything, it will look more cohesive, because at the moment we only have 3. It will look a bit strange.
샛별 샛별 샛별
And you can see I'm done everything now, and I'm gonna adding in the dark indigo for the shadow, and I'll just do a lightly, and you can see here this bit here I'm gonna do darker, but for this flower, for this petal, I'm just doing kind of gently. You don't need to adding in a lot, very small amount. So pretty much just blushing them in. You may not realize how much pigment coming out of this pencil, but they are actually quite a lot, especially when we use the dark color. And that is it. See, we have a very beautiful pink flower. Add a lot of dimension to it when you leave the highlight in the middle. And now for the middle bit, I'll do the same as the red one. So I'm gonna go in with the light chrome yellow, and I'm just adding in for the tip. I don't think I will use the orange for this one, because I don't think orange and pink kind of match well in this case anyway. And I'm gonna use the white, just lay them out. I might use some green, so I'm gonna use some light green. I'm gonna add just lightly, a little bit, but you barely see it. It's because I didn't really press the pencil. I don't really want to. Right now I had the acrylic pen or Posca pen, and I'm gonna show you. This is the white color, and you're just gonna flick it out like so. So it go lightly, because when you press the pencil it will appear more thicker. So you just want light little hair. Then like that, and then you can use your yellow, and you can add some dot in. You can also use a little bit of yellow in the middle. So if you're going to do this, it doesn't really matter what color you go for the middle, because you just kind of cover them anyway. But if you go for a more like earlier we did for the other flower, then you will need to color them in just to, you know, cover the base. But yeah, this is another way you can do, and they look really nice as well. Just compared to this one, they two different. I actually quite like that one, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do that for this side. So just gonna fix it. Let's fix it easy. You just need to adding in some hair for the middle bit. So you do multiple, and you can do some long one, some short one. The more variety you do, the better. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And you can just bring the dot out a little bit. It still give it a really magical look to it, and it's very easy, very simple. So you can do that with the normal gel pen as well if you don't have Posca pen. Now for this one right here, I'm thinking I'm just probably going to do the orange one. Sorry, not orange, the red one again, or should we do a pink one? I really like the pink colors, so I think I might do the pink ones again, because I do find them very pretty. So let me do that. Oh, I can do that in a little bit. I'm just gonna show you how to do the leaves now, because I feel like the video is spacing out since we have to repeating so many detail the same. So let me pick out some of the color for these leaves right here, and I'll show you what we do next. But now let's color in our leaves, and I have a few here that the same color, but sorry, not same color, same kind of style. However, I'm gonna show you how we can do similar colors but a tad different. And I'm gonna start off first. Let's start with this one, the permanent green olive, and I'm just gonna ignore all the kind of shape. Actually, I'm gonna leave the main vein. So I'm gonna color in mostly all the area, but I'm gonna leave some area for the highlight, and adding in my green for this bit here. Should we blend that out? Okay. Once you have that, I'm adding in this one, the dark navel ochre. and sanguine for a little bit of orange. Okay. Once you're done, you just go back in with all the other colors and add another layer to it. So I'm adding in the my green at the moment, and I'm going for the permanent green olive once again. Let's make it a bit darker. You can see I do is sort of like not symmetry, and I do dark side on this instead of just keep it in the middle, so it will add a lot more textures and interesting for your leaves. And at the end I'm adding in the chrome oxide green, which is a dark color just for our shadow, but this color you can skip it. Add a little bit in, not too much, and there you have it. Now as you can see, I left the main vein on colors. Now there's a few ways you can fill in the vein. So the first way you can do is using one of these acrylic pen. So it doesn't need to be this brand, any brand you have is fine. The most popular one obviously is Posca pen, but I have here the really light green color. You can use this one, or you can use a white color. So this is how it will look like. This one you can see I fill it in. This one I already colors in, however I will still show you the process of how I color them in just a little bit later on, because you know it was raining and it was really dark outside, so I couldn't film properly. Another way you can do is just using your pencil, which I'm gonna do in this case, so everybody can do it as well. So I'm using the my green, and I'll just lightly color it in. Now the my green will be as the area where is the dark color, so it will stand out more, and as it go to the top, I'm gonna use the ivory, or you can use the white, and you basically just filling that in the gap. There we go. So we have a pretty nice looking leaf. And that is for the first one. Now for the second one, which is this one right here, so you can see we have a few of them looking like this. There's a brown one that I did, and there's another one that is in this color. So I'm gonna show you two different colors in this one. I only have a few different combinations, so don't worry too much. I'm gonna show you all of them. They just have kind of different pattern, but it doesn't really matter. So now for this one right here, I gonna show you we're gonna adding in some brown. So I'm gonna go first with the olive green yellowish, so still a green colors, and I'm gonna go for the bottom. Again, I'm just gonna go shading the shadow, and let's say, right now I'm adding in the my green. Okay, You can see I still leave some highlight. And then for the tip, I'm using the Van Dyck brow, this one right here, and I'm just adding in tiny bit. I call these just accents color, where you're just adding in like a little bit at the tip, a little bit on the edges, like this orange one, because it helps the whole leaves look more natural and more fun looking. So ivory for your highlights, and just add that in, very simple. And then I'm going to use the chrome oxide green, and I'll just add in some at the bottom here, and I bring up to the vein and adding in a few area, and that is how you color that one. And you can see this is different shape, but I do pretty much the same combination of color. You can see this one right here, there's a little bit of brown in it. And now I'm going to show you the other one, which is similar to how this one, but we also start with the olive green yellowish. And I'm trying to think if I'm gonna leave any vein out. Don't think I will. So we're just gonna add it in. So just a layer once again. I'm going for both sides for this one. When you change up the highlight in some of the leaves, it will make it look more overall organic for your page. Okay. Just got to turn off my electronic because it's making some sound. So again, I'm going in with the my green once again. There's some dog barking in the distance. Okay, so you're just gonna blend them in pretty much. And now I'm using the dark neighbor ochre. Gonna adding in for the whole thing, like so. And I also like to use the chrome oxide green to adding in the shadow. Not too much, just adding for the bottom here where it's around the flower. So it looks like there is some shadow going on. Alright, so that is another one you can use. Now once you're done and you want to fill up in the main vein, you can use the chrome oxide green, and you just kind of adding it in. I'm fading it out at the tip, but yeah, so it look like that. You can also use the olive green yellowish, which we're adding in for at the start. You can use it and just add a tiny bit at the top here. So you can do many ways with your leaves, and it will still look absolutely beautiful at the end. So don't worry much about it. So just have a few done. I'm going to show you the next one. I'll just quickly erasing that pencil there. Alright, so next one. So for this one, I'm going to adding in, you can see I have one right here that have the red in the middle. So for this one, you can use this one, the Indian red, and I basically the colors is the same as the one that we just did right here. So exactly the same combination color, but instead of the middle I didn't add anything, or like adding light color to this, I using a red colors. So that really simple, and later on you will see me the process of how I do that leaves, but it's pretty much the same way. I'll show you a different combination though, because for that one, maybe I'll show you that red one in a minute, but for this one right here, now I'm gonna show you how to do that leaf, sorry, that one like this one. So this one, that's just a simple one. So there's a few of them that I did similar that way. So I'm gonna start first with the leaf green, this one right here, and you're gonna start from the bottom. Now imagine there's no pattern around, we're just gonna color in a normal looking leaves, okay? We're gonna go like this. So I'm gonna leave the highlight on the right side, and make sure you fade it out, fade the green out. You can see I do one side a little bit more green than the other side, just to kind of break the pattern. And then I'm gonna use this one, let's see, this one right here. So I'm gonna use the deep cobalt green, adding in at the bottom. Again, I'm not blending it out too much, keep it at the bottom, just like that. And then I'm gonna adding in the permanent green olive, just adding it on top, just blend it out. There you go. So that look really nice. Now I'm going in with this red, the dark red that we use for this flower here. So you want to adding in at the top. You can bring it out some more if you want to. Make sure you use a lot of stroke method like that, so because the red and the green usually don't really blend with each other, but if you stroke like that, it will help it to blend a lot nicer, a lot more evenly. Okay, so I'm now going back in with the leaf green, and again I'll just bring out the color some more, and then I'm going to use this ivory, and you're just gonna blend everything out. Alright, and so once you have that look, I don't know why I keep coloring it out like a lie. Okay, so now once you have something look like that, you want to go in with the dark navel ochre or any yellow. I'll just reuse some of the color that we already have, and you're just adding in lightly. I like to add it on the side that more highlighted, but of course you can just adding in the yellow anywhere you like. And you're gonna use a white, you're gonna blend that yellow out. You don't want too much of the yellow, you just want a hint of it. And now for the middle, you can use the red down, or you can use the green. Just go back up, you can reapply some of the vein here, and then you have your leaves. Look how beautiful, all those color blend, and it's give you a very interesting leaf, a bit different than the normal one I used to. So you can see these two that I did that, this small one, the same. I don't adding in the yellow everywhere. I adding in some of them. This one I didn't add. So you understand how it look when you kind of breaking up the pattern that way. Yeah, so I'm just blend some out. Okay, now the last one, I'm gonna show you how you can do the middle. So for the middle here, to kind of make it different from this one we just did, I'm using the Indian red, and I'll go for the middle first, and you can see, flick it out from the middle. Okay, like so, and then using the permanent green olive, I'll tell you, they all pretty much the same color. I'll just gotta use them differently. And for this one, I'm gonna leave the highlight from this side, so I'm gonna adding in the color for this side, bring it out. Okay, once you're done, my green, you wanna go in with the green, kind of blend it in, but not too much. Okay, and then you're gonna use the ivory, and you're gonna adding in for the rest, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to use maybe actually going to use a deep cobalt green for the shadow here. So adding in some shadow, and around the red as well, the right in the middle. Okay, and that's how it will look at the end. Okay, another looking really nicely, and that's how our leaf become. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna use the deep cobalt green, dark indigo, this one right here, and I'm gonna add lighting in the shadow, so the overall shadow for the flower here, that kinda on top of the leaves. Okay, doesn't make that much difference, but you can sort of still notice it. So I don't press it or anything, just adding in a little bit, and I do the same for this side too. I like adding in the main shadow, the big shadow, it adding in a really nice touch for the picture. Sometimes the thing that you just change very small thing can make a big difference. I'm just gonna adding over there, and of course here as well. And now for these little grass, I'll call them grass. I'm gonna start first with the deep cobalt green, very simple. Just adding in for the bottom. You can skip a few of them and I'll show you why. I'll tell you the reason why. So you have the deep cobalt green at the bottom. Next you want to bring in the leaf green and you just blend that out, but you still leave some white at the very tip. So that's why these the smaller one, the shorter one, you can start off first from the leaf green, just like the rest of the stem is cover underneath of the frame, right? You don't have to adding in the same 3 color for every grass. And just a little detail like that make the whole thing look really interesting on its own. And now you're adding in the ivory for the tip. Okay, and that's it. So you can do the same for all of them. And now show you what else. There is a few like a seaweed coral bit, kind of moss leaves down here, and I will show you how to do them.
샛별 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 샛별
colors with this like a bowl kind of look. I don't really know what they are, but let's be creative with these. So I'm thinking I'm gonna adding in yellow because I feel like we need a little bit more yellow. So I think we can do like a greenish yellow or like an orangey yellow. I think our green yellow be good because I don't want to add too much other colors in here. So the dark neighbor ochre, I'm just gonna add it in for the bowl, and I actually gonna do a few kind of different, maybe those three, and for those three I'm using the ivory, just a lighter color. You can also use a cream as well if you have that color. It's a really creamy kind of yellow white, and then I'm just going to use the my green, or maybe we can use a different one. I'll just use the my green, and I'm gonna adding in for the bottom half. It may be a little bit difficult, I say, just kind of half of it, and you have the top half doesn't have any colors. Actually, I think I'll change the color. I think my green is not cut for me, so I think I'll use this one, the olive green yellowish, and let's do, yeah, this one is a lot better because I want it to be more showing. And this problem happen when the spike is too small, so you don't have much room to blend. It will kind of harder to show the color off. Okay, so I'm just adding in. So just do like a half moon and leave the other bit yellow. Alright, so, and then for this white one, I think for this one we can use the my green, since the color will be a bit more change on them, and I'm doing exactly the same thing. And then I'm going to use the yellow, the dark neighbor ochre. I'm gonna adding in for the stem, which you can use the gel pen, yellow gel pen, or the yellow Posca pen to add in the end, but I just decided to do it now. The olive green yellowish, I'm just adding in for a little bit at the bottom. Not, yeah. So it look at it fading into the yellow. Okay, perfect. And now we're gonna do for this one, and for this I wanted to use the leaf green, so I'm gonna use them. So leaf green here, let's do a few big ones down here so you can see a bit easier. So you're gonna add in from the center. Okay, so kind of halfway. You can do less. I'm just gonna do a few down here as well. Alright. And what I like to do, I'm gonna add in the light purple pink from the pink flowers, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna add it in for the tip, like so. Look kind of toxic, the blend poison. but it's okay. And you can see I leave highlight in the middle, so look nice and shiny. And then I'm just going to use the white, or you can use the ivory, and I like to blend them the middle out so the color blend in nicely. Then I'm going to use the deep cobalt green, and I'm gonna adding in some shadow. Don't bring out too much, keep it close to the center. Okay, and then you'll do the same for the stem too. So I'm gonna do the leaf green first, and I'm actually gonna do a little bit on the top, let's say, so the whole thing. I'm gonna leave the middle a bit light, and I'm adding in the ivory, let's say, and deep green, deep cobalt green. This detail is pretty small, so make sure your pencil somewhat sharp. It will be much easier for you to go in the nook and crannies, but I'm just quite lazy, so I just do it with what I have. Okay, so I'm just gonna do for the rest now. And why I'm adding in the pink is because this side, on the left side, we lack of thing that in this color, the pink color. So I just try to balance out the page. This is a very mindless exercise, I feel, because you just have to kind of like keep in mind that whatever color you use on the other side, then you just reapply it on this side, just to balance everything out, and it become a habit after a while. So when I start with the color palette, I usually do use this technique. In this guy, I don't really stuck, but I just like to balance things. But if this is not your thing and you don't feel like doing it, absolutely fine too. If you want to do all rainbow, seaweed, go ahead and do so. I think your page will look absolutely stunning. Either way, whatever you do to it, as long as you're happy. So white, and blend. I know I make a few mistakes. I color out that side a lot, but it's fine. And then adding in some deep cobalt green. Okay, so that's one is done. Now for this middle one here, I'm gonna go back and adding in the orange. At the beginning, remember how I use a sanguine for this leaf right here, but you can also use a terracotta, which I like the terracotta I like it more, sorry, because it's have more of the natural tone, like earthy tone to it than the sanguine. I think that one is a bit more orangey. So if you have the terracotta, using this color instead of a sanguine. If you don't have it, it's fine, just use a sanguine. And for this, I'll basically just color it in. That's it nicely. And then as you go down, you just color in these little bit instead of the whole stem. Okay, and one right there too. And now I'm going to use the dark maple yellow, adding in. Not too much, just a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. And then I'll use my green to blend that out. Okay, so just a simple color. Like so, we have a really nice looking one. I'm also gonna add just a tad of dark red for the tip. I think that look really cute. Okay, perfect. Okay, now for this little bit here, I'm just going to use, I think I'm going to use a dark red right here, so I'm adding in some red for this side. Okay, so dark red once again, and I'll go in for the whole stem, but I leave white at the very tip of each little branch that come out from this thing. I don't really know how to explain it. There you go. So you just do like so, and I like to use I think that, well, I like to think so. Yeah, I'm just going to use the light flash at the tip, and like that. I'm going to use some white, some yellow, dark maple yellow, and I'm just adding in for the itty bitty tip, and I also bring a little bit of yellow there as well, and we are done. Okay, so for the first video, for the first part, we're done all the flowers, like all the grass and whatnot inside the pond. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you learned something new that you haven't learned before. I will see you in the next one, and we are going to do like the main background and probably the frame outside the leaves and whatnot, and I think I'll leave the fish at the end just to color everything a little bit in first. So I see you in the next one, and in the meantime, take care and happy coloring. Bye.